Love is simply one word. It's unspoken. The foundation of life. What is this all about? There is no greater narcotic on this planet. You can line them all up and it won't come close to the dopamine hit that you get from love. Because love don't even have to touch you to make you feel some kind of way special. Welcome back to the Art of Love with DR.O, and I'm yours truly, DR.O. To all my love angels out there in love land, I appreciate all the work that you're putting in to bring more people into this beautiful family of love that we have. Who hurt you? Tell me, who hurt you? Somebody crying. I know. But I loved him. But I loved her. My mother told me when I was 9 years old. My mother was brutally honest with me, you know. And she told me when I was 9 years old, son, it's just not that important how much you love them. As important as it is how much they love you. You know, when you start your relationship off chasing something, it's going to end with them running away. But if you just stop and turn around and embrace what's chasing you, it would only end when you say it should end. So remember, it's not selfish. This came from a mother's love, the greatest human being that I'll ever know. It's not important how much you love them, as important as it is how much they love you. The simplicity of that, because she knows her son is going to love. But the question is that other person willing to love you like you love them? Yeah, that's something to think about. Last week we had a very good show, and let's talk about it. And this week we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. I know you guys saw at the bottom of the screen there, to be continued. You know, that was something that I grew up on. That was a suspense moment, was to be continued. So without further ado, let's hop right back into where we left off last week. Let's talk about it. Do you know that when you ask someone their name, the reason why you ask them their name is because you're confident in being able to tell them yours? See? But what would it feel like, or what would it do if someone asked you your name, but they didn't even know theirs? See? This is the simplicity of what we do on a daily basis, that if we added that to just love, it would go right for us. Right. See? How can you expect love from someone, to be love, if you don't know what that is by giving it to yourself?
Absolutely. And that's where I was touching base with, is like everything I have been through with others has definitely been experience and lessons, and it's really helped me self-reflect on how much I give to people at a certain time, because I'm still going to always be a lover and a giver, but I'm literally trying to walk in my queen energy and my power, and take, get the power from my ancestors, my mother, my brother, and stuff like that, so I can.
So I don't want to step on any toes when I say this.
Yeah.
But this is just me, and we're not taught to apply common sense. Common sense.
Facts, yeah.
And common sense says to me, ladies have been lied to on this planet. And whenever someone lies to you, what they just demonstrated to you is they're capable of doing it again. And because of that, it's okay to question anything that comes out of their mouth. Okay? Moving forward, you got to question it, because you took that from me. I was giving it to you, but you lied to me. So what I said to myself was, and I don't want to step on no religious toes or anything, but I believe that women have been lied to the point that, who's to say that you wasn't religiously lied to? See?
We definitely were. I
See?
don't believe in religion.
Because yes, but if you go back into the ancient, you will find all around the world there was a different respect for women. Even the name California came from Caliphie. Queen Caliphie was a woman. This is where the name California came from. See? When you're great, they can't let you know. Because if you knew, it'd be a different situation going on this planet. So, for me, and this is just me, and I'm not going to step on religious toes, but, there's a biblical story about Lucifer falling out with God because he desired to be worshiped. And I said to myself, was it really worship? Because all the other angels wish that they was you because they wish they had your voice. So it wasn't that, because you was not even going to be worshipped, but you was being worshipped on the Most High because even God herself felt some kind of way about you. Okay? So I said to myself, so it wasn't the worship thing. It was, you wasn't created in her image. So only a mother can forgive a child that she gave so much to say, baby, if you feel that way, here's a planet. You can go roam around on it. And y'all other angels want to go roam around with them, figure it out. You think that, you're right. Y'all go ahead, but I'm going to give you a time limit. Yeah. And it's about up. It's about up.
That makes
and so sense, yeah. That's why on this planet, you have a lot of men that's admiring the greatest thing to ever come to exist on this planet. And that would be you. Yep. See, it's chauvinistic for a man to think that he's greater than you when you carry us 9 months to exist. How can we be greater than the creation? I've never seen life come from a rib. I've only seen it come from you. Right. I'm an alpha dominating man. I'm a man's man. Men see more men than me. They see themselves. See? But I fell in comparison to a woman that knows who she is. I'm just a flea in comparison to an elephant. See? Life doesn't exist on this planet because we had something to do with it. It exists because a woman chooses for it to exist. Yeah. Your mother knew she was going to have you before your daddy did. She probably didn't tell you, but women. And it's a lot of guys out there that say, well, we failed our queen. We stop stroking your ego because 90% of the cats sitting in prison because of that woman. Yep. See, and some of them getting hurt in there right now thinking about a woman. See, and when a lady go to prison, she's sending herself. So who got the power? But I asked myself, how did you even get to this point that a flea told an elephant that he was bigger, that he was greater, that he was stronger? And I made up a little story, and it's about 30 seconds, and it goes like this. One day, a flea walked up to an elephant and said, I'm bigger than you, right? And you said, you always say this. I started to believe this true. You're always running your mouth talking about you're bigger than me. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're bigger than me. So the flea said, could you get down on your knees? I need to tell you something. So she gets down on her knees and she said, I still can't see you, but I'm bigger than you, right? And she said, yeah, you always talk about this forest for the tree thing that if you get so close to a tree, you can't see the forest behind it. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're bigger than me. And at this point, the flea said to himself, I got her right where I want her. Can you lay down so I can hop up in your ear and tell you something? So she lays down on the ground, and the flea hops up in her ear, and he's saying, well, I'm already bigger than you, so we ain't got to discuss that. And I just want you to know that, when you wake up in the morning, I don't know why ladies are attracted to men sounding like babies. When you wake up in the morning, I just want you to know that you don't have the strength to lift yourself off the ground. It's really me. And whenever you knock down a tree, you ain't got the strength to knock that tree down. It's really me. About as stupid as you coming from a rib. These are stories that you believe, but you can't cross-reference to see, okay, show me.
Right.
That's about as stupid as a flea telling the elephant, you ain't got the strength to knock that tree down. It's really me on the other side. But what was the main thing that the flea told the elephant that just made her collapse? With all that flea said to the elephant, the flea whispered the last thing to her, and she just completely collapsed. And women just submitted to that flea, and that is, so, I'm bigger than you. We're talking about that in the forest for the trees and, talking about me lifting you up and knocking the tree down. But this is the last thing I want to tell you. God's a flea too.
Get,
Let it marinate. Let it marinate.
yeah.
See, if I'm a flea and I make you believe that the greatest thing in existence is a flea, then surely that flea must be greater than me. When in actuality, God's a woman. The energy
Mm-hmm.
of life comes from you. Who's more forgiving?
Women.
Okay. Who's more loving?
Women.
Okay. So if you had a business to run, you're going to instruct somebody
Women.
to run that business
Mm-hmm.
that's like minded like yourself.
Yeah.
So she, as a queen that she is, instructed a queen underneath the earth to tell ants what to do so that the trees can get the oxygen and seed they need to sprout up out of the ground and grow and give this planet oxygen. She instructed another queen to tell bees what to do so that the trees can get fruitful, multiply from pollination. Why would she stop there and not have a queen walk on this earth
Yeah.
to establish order? You see, when you take the queen out of an ant colony, it's lost. When you take the queen out of a bee colony, it's lost. Society is lost because our queens have been lied to. See? And order will be restored, though, the day our
Absolutely.
queen wakes up.
Yeah.
And it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Oh, it's
It's
coming.
coming. See, everybody think they got the answer on what's going to save us, what's going to get us right. It's you.
Absolutely.
It's you.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
There is no narcotic on this planet more powerful than love. You can put all the narcotics together and it won't come close to love because love can make you happy, it can make you sad, it can make you dance, it can make you run, it can lay you down in the bed and kill you. That's how powerful love is. And to find a significant other to share that with, that's everything. Because the union of two creates one. The simplicity of understanding that it takes something greater to create you, hence, there has to be something greater than humanity. Because we all evolved from something greater than us. You know, can you remember being in love for the first time? How sweet it was, the music, the thoughts, and to believe that someone else felt the same way that you was feeling. How many of us have experienced that? And how many of us have experienced the reality of it not being what we really thought it was going to be? Men come into this world just puppies, wanting to play and love their master. And isn't until get that first taste of that gunpowder that they become dogs that a lot of ladies no longer want to deal with. But if you talk to a lot of men, when they were young, there was somebody that they would have did anything for. And our experiences in life ultimately manifest us into the being that's standing in front of you. And we as individuals have to look at that and say, I have something beautiful standing in front of me. I can't allow my past to dictate my future if it isn't a positive thing for me. I have to look at the positive, move the positive forward, but leave the negative where it needs to be. Ladies, If there's ever been a man that's left you, I promise you, if we go back to high school, we can find a guy that would have never left you. You know that. And just as I said it, a lot of you, the name popped in your head. The name popped in your head. I remember I was coming out of a store, but before I went in the store, this young lady, she said, sir, would you happen to have any spare change? And I said, sure, just let me go in the store. When I come out, I got you. So I went inside the store and I came out. And before I handed her the money, I asked her, I said, where's your baby's father? Because she had a baby in a stroller. And she said, he's locked up. And I knew right then and there that there was a man that would have did anything for her. But she chose to go down a path that society helps a lot of young ladies misguide them into what seems to be not a promising future. And so I asked her, can you tell me the name of the guy in high school that would have never left you? She said, Michael. Before I could finish the sentence, she answered me, as most of you can answer me. You know, we have to own the decisions that we make in our life. We have to stop blaming other people for the things that are going wrong in our lives. We have to take a look at ourselves and be honest with ourselves. Because without first being honest with oneself, you can never be honest with someone else. You know, what if you did have a relationship and it was filled with passion and commitment and intimacy, but the foundations that it stood on was lies? Well, the ride would be great. You know, you go to Magic Mountain and that first drop is amazing. You come up from that, you do a loop, it's all great. But when it stops, you got to get off the roller coaster. What are you left with? Because if it's not truth, eventually the passion's going to leave you, the intimacy, the commitment, all of it's going to be gone. But to start a relationship off with the truth, you see, this is the strongest, most bonding thing that exists in our universe. It's truth. Remember, loving you is the most important thing for you to do. If you haven't done that, then you're not loving no one else. You know, you can take your husband or your wife to Spain and introduce them to the diplomats of Spain and have an excellent time, and then come home and they get upset because you forgot to empty trash. Is that love? That negative frequency was waiting for that to happen just so they can get it off, just so they can get that dopamine hit, you know? So, got to think about that, because it shouldn't take money to make the relationship better. You know, surprise them with a blanket and a picnic basket, and find a place to go that's beautiful, that's peaceful. You know, the beach is free. Of course, you know, a little parking, but the beach is free and the waves is nice. You know, you can go out to a place like Manhattan Beach, you know, throw the gas in the tank, get the sandwiches or whatever foods you would like. You can even throw a grill out there because they got pits on the sand that you can even throw some salmon on it. So some salmon on the grill, and, you know, throw some vegetables out there and put the butter on and the garlic and the chives and all that stuff, you know. It's the simplicity of it. You ain't got to go to Roof Chris. Go to Roof Chris and then you're going to catch the bus home. Lights off, car repo, because you're trying to please somebody. Well, Roof Chris. You know, when somebody loves you, they don't want your pockets. They want you. That's it. Remember that, my love angels. If If somebody loves you, they don't want your pockets. Ain't nothing your pockets can do for somebody that truly love you. But if they constantly in your pockets, that's not love. Remember, that's not love. If you meet someone and they in your pockets, if you're in a relationship with someone and they in your pockets, that's not love. Love is free. It's free. And just as much pleasure as you get out of being with them, they should get the same pleasure out of being with you. And that easily happens when you're dialed into the right frequency and the right vibrations of who you with. You've met someone, you're like, man, this conversation is awesome. It just feels right. That's because the frequencies is there. The vibrations is there. You know, you don't go and meet somebody that's 4, 5, 800 pounds and then say you need to go to the gym. If you having somebody in your life that you need to have in the gym, then you need to meet somebody in the gym. You know, don't try and break your leg trying to convince somebody to play soccer. You want to have somebody in life that plays soccer. Well, go meet somebody that's already playing soccer. See, that makes it easy. That's finding the vibration that fits you. You know, if you're an alcoholic, go find somebody else that's an alcoholic. You a crackhead, go find a crackhead to be happy. That's finding the vibration and the frequency that works for you. Don't make it more complicated than it is. You know he was a crackhead when you met him and when you took him to the altar. And he gonna be a crackhead 15 years later. Don't surprise yourself and upset yourself with the answers that you already knew. You already knew that. So when we take the time out to find the vibration and the frequencies, it makes the relationship a lot easier. There's nothing to argue about. And all you have to do is love each other. That's all you have to do. And remember, you know, free is good. Free is good. Free is beautiful because you get an opportunity to see who this person really is. If me sitting at this beach, hearing these waves, these seagulls are flying, just the universe is harmoniously talking to us, giving us the love that we should feel amongst each other. If that's not good enough for you, because it is for me, then we might have other things that we need to talk about. See? But if I need to take you to Melrose, wine you and dine you, and you still ain't happy, is that love? Nah, it's not. Stop abusing each other. Stop taking advantage of a good thing. If you got a good woman in your life, don't take advantage of that. If you got a good man in your life, don't take advantage of that. Because the price that you have to pay is far greater than what some of you are willing to bear. You know, your relationship, you have to understand, it was no coincidence. A lot of things transpired for you guys to meet each other. And that was a gift that the universe, that God gave you, was each other, you guys meeting each other. So why take that for granted? Because when you do, you're not cheating on that person that you're with. You're not lying to the person that you're with. You're lying to the universe, to God that puts you guys together. And there's a price to pay for that. And that price to pay for that is you're going to have blessings removed from you. And you don't want to fare in this universe with the negativism that exists without having the covenant of that blessing to protect you. So remember, your union with your significant other was by no coincidence. And if you dialed into the vibrations of each other and it fits, then so be it. Love each other. Just love each other. Remember, love is the single most powerful narcotic on the planet. It can touch and move your soul without even touching you. So put that change in the drawer, in a little jar, you know, it's going to add up on you. I have multiple jars. You know, I've even stepped my game up to where not only change, which is over $100 a month, but I have a dollar jar. So whenever I get $1, I just put the dollar in the jar. Them jars is filled. You'd be surprised how much money you can accumulate just by just putting it away. And then if there's something you want to do, something you want to go get, you can go get it without even thinking about where the money gonna come from to get it. And remember, free is a beautiful thing. Find the things in life to be happy that are not financially hindering to the relationship. Because love can't put a price on something that's priceless. And love is priceless. You know, you lighting them candles around the tub, drawing that warm water. You know, you go get that milk poured in there, put them beads in there, get it just right, you know. Go on, get the potpourri and lay it out. Look at that. You go to 99-cent store, you can get all that stuff about, I don't know, maybe $7 to $13. You reach in your pocket with $7 to $13 with the candles, the potpourri, the milk, and the bees and the water, and you got the music right. You didn't have to spend that much money. Some of you guys are buying Bugattis and mansions, and they still not happy. That's because you failed to realize you were trying to please something that couldn't be pleased because it was the wrong frequency. So hopefully, to the question that I received out there, and that was, Dr. O, you always got people on your show that have issues and problems, and they tell you your problems, and you answer them. But can you give us just a little sprinkle of game on how to maintain a beautiful thing? Well, hopefully, what I just said to you should help, and that is keep the finances low. Keep the finances low, because love don't reach for your pocket. It reach for your heart. Let me say that again. Love don't reach for your pockets. It reaches for your heart. For the last time, all my love angels out there in love land, say it with me. Love don't reach for your pockets. It reach for your heart. Did that sound good to you? Then say it again. Love don't reach for your pockets. Love reach for your heart. And that's something that's free. So remember, until next time, make sure that loving you, all my love angels out there in love land, until next time, you make sure that loving you is a priority thing for you to do. I appreciate you. Tune in every week, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and you can go ahead and get this jism that I'm giving you, and it's just love. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I love you.